The one thing that I want to first talk about is that in the course we understood that I am a soul, and it's important to realize that I am a soul in this body, because understanding that I am a soul means there is continuity. Yes, and I will share one experience. There is this brother, and I was giving him the course, and then after the course, he told me, Didi, I'm not worried about afterlife. So he's pretty old, like 78, maybe 80 years of age. And he said, I'm not worried about when I leave the body what happens, but I'm just worried about how I spend my time from this moment until I leave the body. So, but the question is, you always think that this is it. For example, when you are young, you never think that you will get old, do you? No, you never think that you will get old. And this is why you do not use the youth responsibly. Yes, you don't. When we are young, we don't understand that we will get old, and so we make mistakes when we are young, for which we pay when we are old. So the thing is, this short-sightedness is not serving us well. And when I am old, I think that, okay, I just want to think about until I die, not beyond that. But then there'll be a point when I leave the body, and then there is continuity, and there is, after this will become very clear. And then I will think about what will happen to me after this. But Baba says that, why do you have to close your eyes to the fact that you are an eternal being and there is continuity, and why don't you behave responsibly in the moment wherein your karma ensures present happiness and peace, as well as a secure future, and a future that is built, that has a good foundation through present good karma. So this is what Baba is telling us. Now let's say, there is this one sister, and she always kept telling me, I want proof that I am a soul. And I said, there is no proof, there is only knowledge. And if you sit in silence and you think about it, you experience it. Then she said, no, I don't believe in anything that I don't have proof about. And I said, okay, if you don't believe, I can do nothing about it. And then what happened is, when she lost her father in COVID, she asked me, where is my father now? So I said, your father is dead. Then she said, no, where is he now? So I said, who are you talking about? The body you burnt, it's over. Who are you talking about? Then she said, the soul. So I said, I thought you will not believe there is a soul without, reason and without proof. So why are you asking me where your father is now? So the thing is, when people die, it's very evident to us that the soul is taking an onward journey. And you are talking about where are they now, or you sometimes feel the presence also, that yes, they are here, even if the body is burnt, still that entity, that person continues. So Baba says that you have to live your life in awareness of the truth. And the truth is, I am a soul, I continue, I operate in eternity. So there is this, this body's life is limited from when you're born until you leave this body. But then your journey is not limited to that. Your journey was before this body, and you will continue to be after this body also. And this is why Baba says that you must understand the value of every second in which you're doing karma, because that karma which you're doing in the present moment has long-term applications, long-term implications, because whatever you do in the moment is etched in eternity. So, whatever you do in the present second becomes part of your whole eternal journey. It influences your whole eternal journey. And this is why Baba says that you have to become far-sighted now. And this is why Baba gives us the knowledge of the drama, that in the drama, slowly we are approaching a time where there will be disintegration. So, there will be forces of disintegration and what you call destruction or vinash. But Baba says it is transformation, and in any transformation, there is construction and there is disintegration. So both the aspects are a part of transformation, and Baba says that there is going to be a huge force of disintegration in the near future, but I am teaching you so that you can be prepared for that phase, and you can also be prepared for the phase that is to come after that. So Baba says there will be big forces of disintegration which will put an end to the present form of, how things are. So things are, if you look around, what is the state of the world today? Everything is in chaos and nothing is working well. So Baba says this is going to end. There is going to be a world order of, peace, happiness, and everything is non-chaotic and harmonious and organized. That is Satyug. But Baba says, before you transition into Satyug, you will have to deal with this phase where everything is going topsy-turvy, and you need to have a lot of spiritual strength to, to stay together, to hold on to your, your stability, your peace, and move from this phase to that phase. So the knowledge is, you should know that you are an eternal soul, and destruction and the new age that is coming is prefixed in the drama. And when you listen to knowledge and you just, think intuitively, does it not make sense that destruction is very much in the offing? So how many of you think that yes, the transformation, the big transformation of the world is very close? And do you think like that? Please raise your hand so that I can see. And so there are some who are raising the hand, some who are not raising hands. So if you have to think about these things, so when we listen to Gyan, sometimes you feel that we have to be optimistic and not think that destruction is coming. But optimism doesn't mean that you create a false sense of hope. Optimism means, hope for the best, be prepared for the worst. So, but the thing is, if you look around, you see that the way we are conducting ourselves as a whole human race is very, very unsustainable, is it not? And the government believes, the world believes today that the way of life today is unsustainable. The way we are exploiting nature, the way we are conducting ourselves in our personal lives is very, very unsustainable. And Baba says that if you look at the world around you, you know that we are not doing too much about restoring it to its original form. That is why Baba says, now you need to detach. Yes, so you need to accept that there is going to be destruction. You need to be doing your duties until then, but you also need to be detached and fill yourself with the spiritual strength which allows you to transition from this phase of the world to the next phase that is coming. So Baba gives us the knowledge of the fact that I am a soul, and Baba gives the knowledge that this is the time, and the most important thing that Baba teaches is yoga. Now, what is yoga? So, in today's Murli, there is one piece from Mama. So, Mama is called Mateshwari Jagadamba Saraswati in the Brahma Kumaris, and I will give her full introduction some other time. But there is one excerpt from Mama's Vani in the Murli today, and in that excerpt, Mama is talking about the power of the ancient yoga of Bharat. Now you see that everybody says that in Bharat there was some ancient yoga which is very celebrated, and these days people think that there are many practices of yoga which people do, and mostly the approach that is taught in those practices is body over mind. So have you been into some yoga practice? And it is mostly body over mind. So what is told is, if you conquer your body, if you conquer your body through Hatha yoga, through Ashtanga yoga, through various methods, then your mind will always be stable. So this is why there is this practice of conquering the body, and that is why this asana, pranayam and this and that, for conquering the body, for ensuring that the body is the body is very streamlined and very proper and very healthy and everything else. Now you see that in earlier times, the only people who practiced yoga or meditation were sannyasis. Yes, the only people who practiced yoga or meditation were sannyasis. So what a sannyasi did was, he left the household, he left the family, he left the work, he left his money, treasures, whatever he called his own. So his only problem was the body. Do you get that? So when you are a sannyasi, you have left everything else, and your only problem is the body. And there you are sitting in the jungle, and you think that I, the soul, have only one problem, which is the body. So if I conquer the body, then I, the soul, will become powerful. But when it comes to people like us, that is not the case, because for I, the soul, the body is not the only problem. Yes, there is the body, there are relationships, there is work, there is finances. And then how do you ensure that everything else is healthy? Because the sannyasi ensured that the body is healthy, and then he thought that the mind will be at peace. But here our minds are connected with the body, with the relationships, with the work that you do, with the state of how much money you have, or what are your state of finances and everything else. Or in general, how the world is right now. So you are mentally very connected with that also. So Baba says that that method of yoga doesn't work for you, because if you just worked on your body, and again, in COVID times, even if you did whole day pranayam and yoga, I don't know whether you will not have COVID. So again, conquering the body and ensuring that it is disease free is also not possible these days. So Baba says that now what you need to do is, you need to have yoga with me. And when you have yoga with me, then you will get detached. So you will live in the body, you will live in situations, you will be with relationships, you will do the work, but there'll be a sense of detachment in all of that. So what does it mean to have yoga with Baba? So first thing is, when you can only have yoga with someone you identify with. Yes, you cannot mentally connect. So when you talk about, your connection with people, you say that our wavelengths don't match, or we are not on the same page. So you cannot mentally connect to somebody you are not on the same page with, or you don't feel a sense of relationship with, or you don't feel any sense of attainment with. Now, why do we connect with our parents? So our parents are very different from us. Yes, so sometimes your parents' thought process, their way of living, doing things is very different from you. But you still connect with your parents. Why? Because they are your parents. And that is why, and when you connect with your parents mentally, then there is an exchange of energy, because, even though you're very different from your parents, you start becoming like them in many ways, because you're mentally connected to them. And slowly, gradually, over the years, you realize that you're very much like your parents. So this is what is a very crude example of yoga. So yoga means that there is a mental connect. So yoga is always a spiritual aspect. Yoga is not a physical aspect. So let's understand this first, that you don't connect with anyone physically. You always connect through your man and buddhi with anyone you connect to. Right now, you are sitting in front of me, but whether you are connected or not depends on where is your man and buddhi. Yes, so if your mind is thinking about something else, or your attention is elsewhere, then you might be seeing me, hearing me, but you cannot get what I am saying. Yes, so any exchange of energy only takes place when there is this connection through man and buddhi. So you sometimes feel that when you live in the physical world, then the connection you have with others is physical, but it is not. And if it was so, then people living under the same roof will always feel connected. But there you see everyday examples of people who live under the same roof. They share time, work, everything. They share responsibilities, but they are not connected. They don't have any heart-to-heart connection. Or they sometimes you don't even understand what the other person is saying. You don't have any exchange of energy with that other person. You're not able to influence them in any way, because living under the same roof or physical proximity doesn't mean that there is a connect. So the connect, the yoga is a very spiritual aspect. And the soul has the man and buddhi, and you always connect with everyone and everything through the man and buddhi. So I will tell you one thing. So there was this sister, and she had come, and she said that, I feel very gloomy when it is raining. And these days it is raining and I don't feel nice at all. And when she had come, it was raining. And while she was talking to me, it was bright and sunny. But we were sitting in a room where she couldn't look outside. And she said, it's raining outside, so I'm feeling very gloomy. So then I held her hand and I took her outside and I said, it is sunny. And you're still feeling gloomy, not because it's raining outside, because it's raining in your mind. Because you think it is raining. So, everything that we feel, everything that we experience is a spiritual aspect. It's not, it has got nothing to do with your physical conditions. But when we are not in cognizance of this fact, then what happens is we live in this illusion that maybe the physical reality is very powerful, or what is happening around me is influencing me a lot. So Baba says, first thing you understand is you are a soul and you always have connection with anyone or anything through your man and buddhi. And this is why people are miserable about their past and their future. When you think about the past and future, people feel miserable. Now the past and future don't exist as a real thing. But then you can get miserable thinking about it because your man and buddhi is connected to the past and future at that time. And then Baba, after explaining that this is how a soul experiences in the inner world, Baba tells us, now you connect with me. So, and when you understand, that is why the course is given, that Baba is my father, Baba is my parent, Baba is my teacher, Baba is my Satguru. I have all relationships with Baba, and when I think about it, churn over it and imbibe that truth that I am a soul and all my relationships are with Baba, it will be easy to turn your attention to Baba and to identify with Baba. Now, what is Baba like? Baba is also just a point of light like me, but a point of light who doesn't overthink, doesn't stress, doesn't fret, doesn't worry, doesn't feel insulted or hurt. Yes, he's always the ocean of peace, love, happiness, bliss, power. Yes, so that is what Baba is. And Baba says, when you turn your attention towards me and start thinking about how I am and how you're just like me, then you also start drawing in my qualities. And Baba says, I am the ocean of knowledge. I know things that you don't know, and I'm telling that to you in the Murli every day. And when you connect with me, so where yoga with Baba is not just when we are sitting in silence and reflecting on Baba's qualities, but the first way to have yoga with Baba is to read the Murli, because the Murli is the mind of God. Yes, Shiv Baba speaks his mind and buddhi. Whatever is in his man and buddhi, he speaks through the Murli. So when you sit and read the Murli with that kind of regard for the Murli, that this is what God knows and this is what God, my Father, is telling to me today, then in that moment you are having yoga with Baba. And then when that truth which Baba knows, which makes him the ocean of peace, ocean of happiness, because you see, truth is power. So the power of peace, the power of happiness, the power of bliss, or the power of purity that Baba holds is because of the power of truth he has. And when you sit and churn on that truth, and you churn on Baba's being, that Baba is so constant in his peace and purity and happiness, and I'm his child and I can also be like this, because just like he knows he is a soul, I know I'm a soul. So when you start thinking like this, then in this connection you start getting the power to be peaceful, be loveful, be happy in whatever circumstances you are living. And there is one simple law: either the circumstances will change you or you will change your circumstances. And when you have yoga with Baba, then you are more powerful than your circumstances, because those circumstances are not able to, disturb you or put your mind in a state of upheaval, because you are connected to the one that is constant. Yes. So have you ever thought that maybe there is a time when you have to run fast? Yes. And then you think about somebody who runs really fast. Does that give you power to run faster? Yes. So when you're mentally connected with someone, their quality becomes your quality. Yes, I remember that there was this video where there was a gymnast who had to, just lift the body above the rod that was fixed above, and then form an 8 and then come down. So the gymnast tried many times, but she couldn't succeed. And then she stood on the side and she closed her eyes and she thought about something, and then when she went up, she could do it. And then she was interviewed how she could do it now, and then she said that when I stood there, I thought about one person who is in the same field and she does it very well. So I just created that image of she going up, creating that 8 in the air and coming down. And then when I went, I could do it. So Baba says that when you think about me, someone who comes into the world, because you see that we thought that God never comes on earth, so he doesn't know our problems, he doesn't know what life is like here. But Baba comes, and now we have got the knowledge that Shiv Baba comes and sits in the body of Brahma Baba and talks and conducts, speaks out the truth and lives here, sees the children, talks to the children, interacts with the children. So Baba also comes and sits in this old world. And still he maintains that state of peace, purity, love. I will share one incident with you. So I was attending Baba Milan, where Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba entered the body of Dadi Gulzar. And Bap Dada, we call that Bap Dada Milan, because Bap and Dada. So Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba both are sitting in the body of Dadi Gulzar ji. And in that Baba Milan, what happened is there were around 2000 children who were just going and taking drishti from Baba. You see, they are just crossing from, they are moving before Baba and they are taking drishti. And Baba is looking at 2000 children one by one. And I was noticing Baba's face all the time. And you see 2000 souls, 2000 different energies, 2000 different faces. But Baba's face, Baba's expressions, Baba's state of peace and love didn't change even one bit in that whole 2 hours or 3 hours. And that day I was thinking, you see, we meet two people and our expressions and our state of mind and our state of being is different with those two people. But Baba is so constant, constant in form, constant in action. And Baba tells us that when you are in yoga with me, that is, you remember you are a soul, you're Baba's child, you're like Baba. And when in that awareness, you sit and do anything, any work, even when the work is not going well or the people around you are not behaving the way you expect them to be, you will be able to hold on to your state of constancy of peace, happiness and love despite the vagaries outside or despite the chaos outside. And then Baba says this will act like donating peace to them also, because when you are peaceful in a chaotic situation, then obviously the rule of energy is that it flows from higher frequency to lower. Peace is always higher than peacelessness, so it will start flowing to them and start affecting them. So Baba says this is the ancient yoga of Bharat. What is the ancient yoga of Bharat? That you consider yourself to be a soul, to be Baba's child, and in this awareness you feel connected with Baba and you draw in the constancy, the love, the peace, the happiness that Baba's form is, and then you draw it into yourself and you also start reflecting that state of mind in that communion, in that state of connection, and start radiating it to the world around you as you operate in peace. And this is the way the world shifts. So when one person is in yoga with Baba, then Baba's energy is received by the whole world. And it doesn't only mean that when you're sitting and meditating at that time this is possible, but even when you're working, when you're talking, if you are in Baba's awareness that Baba is such an ocean of peace, ever flowing, never changing ocean of peace, love, happiness, and you are also a reflection of Baba's state at that time when you're working, then it's like you're donating that peace and happiness to the world also alongside imbibing it. And Baba says this ancient yoga changes the state of the world. This ancient yoga is what makes you from an ordinary person to a deity and changes the world from hell to heaven. And this is why this yoga is so celebrated. And then people today think that yoga means, just conquering the body. But Baba says, no, yoga means that you live in the body, you don't leave anything, but you withdraw your man and buddhi from the old world and connect it to the ocean of virtues, and you become virtuous in action and create a virtuous world around you. This is yoga. So Today, Mama clarifies that that yoga which is celebrated, that yoga for which Bharat is well known, is not Hatha Yoga. It is Raj Yoga. Hatha Yoga is the yoga of austere practices. And do you know that when people think that I want to conquer the body, then they use many austere practices. Yes, they try to silence their sense organs, or they try to pacify them through many artificial methods or many austere practices where they hurt the body, put the body in difficult conditions. But Baba says you don't need to do all of that. You can change yourself and change the world with love. So when you have love for Baba, that's enough for you to change yourself and the world. And Baba teaches us the transforming power of love. So when you understand that Baba is your parent, your teacher, your guide, you have deep love for Baba, deep sense of connection with Baba. And that connection restores the world to its original form. So Baba says, you don't need to engage in Hatha Yoga. Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is something that you do very easily. It is called easy Raj Yoga. So there is no austerity, there are no difficult methods. You just have to shift your awareness from I am a body, I am an ordinary human being, to I am a child of God. And when God is extraordinary, how could I be ordinary? Yes, so the difference between human and divine is the consciousness. So you say that to err is human and to forgive divine. But if you thought you were divine, that forgiving would come naturally to you. Because you think you are human, then erring is coming naturally to you. If you thought you are divine, if you understood, if you realized, if you saw yourself as God's child, a divine being, then forgiving would come naturally to you. So Baba says, you don't have to hurt yourself, harm yourself, or make so much of physical effort. You just have to shift your consciousness from I'm an ordinary human being to I'm a divine child of God Himself. So this is the ancient yoga, Raj Yoga, that Baba talks about. And then Baba says that it is written in the scriptures, God says that when you have yoga with me, I will absolve you of your sins, because all the sins are a product of low consciousness. Yes, when your consciousness is low, then your sins are active. Just like, when your immunity is low, you are very susceptible to diseases. Yes, do you know that all around you there are bacteria and viruses all the time? But when your immunity is low, you start attracting them. That's it. So your sins also start working, or they start expressing themselves in your life when your consciousness is low. But when we have yoga with Baba, then our consciousness is elevated, and then that amounts to, you doing away with your sins. Because the sins are there, but they are not getting triggered by situations, or you're not giving into them as, even if there is a settlement coming because of your previous sins, you are not getting disturbed by them. So then they come and go. The settlement comes and go. There are situations around you, but they don't trigger that sin, so you are saved from it. So this is how you get absolved of your sins, by raising your consciousness when you are in yoga with Baba. So this is about the ancient yoga of Baba, ancient yoga of Bharat that Baba talks about. And there are other things in the Murli also today, but Since this is the first class, I wanted to discuss this today. Okay. Om Shanti.